Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from politicsdoneright.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It, As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom, It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto, Willies. Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from politicsdoneright.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It, As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom, It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto, Willies. Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willies. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Good morning to Northeast Texas, Southeast Texas, Northwest Louisiana, Southwest Louisiana, and to all the nooks and crannies receiving the signals from our 100,000 watt transmitters, magically transmitting them into those boxes known as radios, aka the Howard Reynolds machines. Good morning to the rest of the world who listen to us through the magic of the internet, formerly known as the ARPANET, created by we the people, your tax dollars, United States government, United States Senate, scientists, and all the others making things work, now controlled by billionaires that we must take back, but only doing so. Well, we'll talk about that later. Before any further ado, let's pass it on to the geniuses in the studio, Senor Howard Reynolds and Jack Van Bebber.
And good morning, Egberto. Back from a weekend of R&R, which I had a chance to do.
Not the radio show.
Yeah, no, not the radio show. I did listen to them, though, in some recordings. Those guys are just great. We love them. We're also in Fund Drive right now, and we're waiting on our interim general manager to click the button and let us in so we can give him so he can come on and talk about Fund Drive. In the meantime, Jack, what you got, man? Looks like you got 3/4 of a page of wisdom.
Yeah, something like that, if you call it that. Good morning, Egberto. How are you?
Good morning, my brother. Talk to me, man. Talk to me. I can't wait to hear what you got to say.
All right. This is about privatizing Medicare. Seems like it's pretty much a common theme nowadays. Excuse me. The corporate-owned politicians want health care to do their dirty work. Eliminate the old for profit. Project 2025 Medicare. Project 2025 will privatize Medicare by automatically enrolling seniors in corporate Medicare take advantage of you healthcare, where a private corporate bureaucrat will make decisions on your health based on the corporate bottom line. How much can they profit from your care versus how much health care the senior uses. If their care is too costly versus your ability to pay, they will drop you or refuse to pay your claim. This will be the death sentence for seniors.
I'm sure a lot of them.
Basically murder by omission, by neglect.
Exactly. That is what, that's how we need to talk about it. That's how we need to talk about it because it's the truth. Murder by. Yes. Thank you, brother. That is an important, that is one thing that the right knows how to do that many moderates and left don't do because we're we want our words to be so precise. A few years ago, back in 2016, I believe, or early 2017, I wrote an article that said it is harder for a woman, irrespective of race, to win an election, the presidency in the United States, more so than even a man, a black man. And Obama won the election. Yes, there are likely quite a lot of people who didn't vote for Obama because he wasn't white, that he was a black man. There are probably a lot of people that didn't, but enough people superseded whatever prejudices that they had or whatever attenuated prejudices that they didn't allow to take over their vote. Enough voted to give President Obama a very large win from people of all races, all sects. Now, let's be clear. I believe race, as I always talk about when I talk about racial issues, is a stupid thing. Race is one of the most limiting factors we can actually delineate humanity by, because again, it has no value from a scientific point of view, from any point of view. We are all people that, given the same opportunities, will do the same. But we live in a racialized society. So when Hillary lost, I was very disappointed because, again, it was like, my God, America, the richest country, most advanced countries purportedly, still is yet to elect a woman. And even a woman as competent, a white woman as competent as Hillary, much more so than the person she was running against, much more so than just about anybody running for president. She couldn't win. Now, look, wasn't a big supporter of Hillary, but I understood what it meant to vote for Hillary. And I did because again, she was the most competent and it would have broken that ceiling. Now we go towards Kamala Harris. She has a double whammy now. She's a woman, she's black, she's Asian, and she's married to a Jewish guy. Are we going to be grown up enough to put away all the prejudices that make absolutely no sense? I tell you something, we have some of the best supporters here at Politics Done Right. I want you to listen to this interaction that Patrick says is modus operandi where he works. And then we'll take it on the other side. Hi, Patrick. How you doing, my brother?
I was going to give just a little bit of insight. There's some speak of racism, and I guess it's being projected towards the left. I'm a very, very white person and work in a branch of construction, and I work out in the field, and I get to hear and talk to people that look like me that don't understand how I think, because I don't share that much.
Because you're a very white guy. I get it.
Yeah. When I speak to somebody and they get worried about immigration or something, people that look like me, I'll say, well, statistically, they don't seem like they're causing a problem. They're not really causing crime or anything. So then when I go through all the logical arguments, it boils down to a response like, well, I don't want to look at them. That's oftentimes And then also too, when I'm speaking about the two choices that we have for president, I'll go through the economy and everything, and I'll tell them everything I can. And it'll all boil down to, after they hear all that, they'll say, well, I don't want that expletive. And there'll be a sexist comment and a comment about color leading my country or telling me what to do. And I heard the same thing during the Obama era. Mm-hmm. And so everybody is saying that the left is racist. But anytime I try and have a logical conversation with somebody that doesn't see things the way I do, the conversation always ends with them giving up and telling me that they don't want this type of person leading me, or they don't want to see these kind of people. So that's all I had to say.
No, but let me, I want to query you a little bit, because I am glad there are stories written where there are black women. This woman, I don't remember where I read the story. She's a black woman, but she's white passing, right? And on the meeting, they didn't quite know she wasn't. She said, it's amazing how different the discussion is than many of us know. And we have quite a few people in the chat here that would exhibit exactly what you're talking about when you say, you can give all the information you want, but ultimately the reason that they won't vote for Kamala isn't that she's not going to do right by them, but they just can't see past her gender. They just can't see past her race. And they don't want somebody of that gender or that race being in control or running the country. That's pretty much what you're saying, correct?
Yes, that's how my discussions or arguments typically end.
And, it's sad because a lot of these people, including a few in the chat, deep in their hearts, they know that is the reason. And when they're looking for reasons to vote for Trump, they know that's the reason. Because remember the piece that I just did, Patrick, I said the following. We've debunked that somehow Donald Trump was good on the economy. We've debunked that Donald Trump's new policies would be good for the economy. So if you know all this information and you're still voting for him, you have to ask yourself, if you don't want to admit it, like Patrick has heard in his own doing, you have to admit there's another reason. Am I right?
Yes. When all the reasons that they're being told to say fall apart, the truth comes out.
And there's a concept known as reductio ad absurdum. And that is exactly what we just did. Reductio ad absurdum. Patrick, thank you so kindly. First of all, for calling in with that honest assessment. But secondly, just for being who you are, brother.
Well, people like you are making it easier. I'd have a lot more friends if I could meet people like you.
Thank you, brother. Look, folks, I still believe Kamala is going to win. I still believe we could even get a break that make it a lot less close than people think it's going to be. But we have to go out there and do the work. And we have to tell the stories that Patrick is telling to jog people into doing the right thing. I knew Obama was going to win. I thought when Obama ran that there was no chance in hell that a black man could win in 2008. I never thought that was possible. But during the canvassing I think it was in Pennsylvania, one of the Obama's canvassers went over to this woman's house, this couple's house, and they asked her, who is she voting for? I don't know why she thought she had to do this, but she called out to her husband, "Hey, honey, who are we voting for?" And honey shouted to her and said, "Tell them we are voting for the N-word guy." Meaning we're voting for Obama. If you remember 2008, things were horrendous. Things were bad. If you remember 2008, we didn't know where the country was heading financially, etc. Things were so bad to some people that they decided that they superseded their own prejudice, as that statement showed, to do the right thing. Now, the problem right now is that the economy is doing fairly well. Yes, people are paying more for things, but their wages are increasing as well. So they have some leeway to go back to the belief that they had. But as Patrick pointed out, and as I've stated, the economy as described by Donald Trump of how it used to be under Donald Trump, the good parts of how it used to be under Donald Trump was just a continuation of the Obama economy. And we have to remember that the last year of his presidency, we had a pandemic that was mismanaged and caused the crash in the economy that occurred thereafter, and the subsequent inflation that occurred after. And just like Obama had to clean up the mess created by G.W. Bush, it's the same thing that Biden had to do to clean up Trump's mess. And interestingly, better than any other Western economy, the American economy is doing much better than the others. It needs a lot of improvements. And the improvements that it needs are the things that Kamala Harris identified and said she would be instituting in her policies. Completely anathema, completely opposite to what Donald Trump wants to do, which is throw tariffs on that's going to raise everybody's prices, etc. So we know that as a fact. And still, at this point in time, 50% or more or so, or somewhere in the area of the vicinity of 50%, white women will be supporting Donald Trump, according to the current polls, if they are to be believed. A person that has taken their reproductive rights away, a person that have been accused and convicted or accused and found liable for sexual harassment, as well as a person who admits that he grabs women without their consent at their private parts, a person who has been accused of rape by several women, a person who has used his charities to fund personal, take money out of a charity that he's supposedly raising for charitable reason, a person who has created a fraudulent university to take people's money, a person who has stiffed his employees and not paid them, a person who has created a whole lot of product lines that all went into failure, a person who has been bankrupt over 6 times. All these things define this one person. And we have people that would look at him and look at Kamala, someone that can articulate a plan, someone that is vibrant, somebody that tells you, I can do this for you, and here is the plan. And many would still, because of what Patrick has said behind the scenes. Continue to vote against your interests. Continue to vote for somebody who they know doesn't give a damn about them. I still have faith in the American people. I still do. I won't lose my faith until after the election. After the election, if it doesn't come out like I am 90% sure it will, with a very victorious Kamala Harris, at that point in time, I would have to say, America is not only on the decline, but America has declined. Let me tell you something. I really want us to do well, continue to do well in these fund drives, because we're doing more than just trying to be static. We want to start bringing a hell of a lot more value to our audience. Anyway, folks, please also remember that today is the first day of early voting. Look, everybody needs to go out there and vote. Remember what I said. I think the right people would get elected if all of us went out and vote, because there are more good people out there. There are more people that believe in the values of us all than those who are subject to fear. But you have to go out there and express yourself. If you don't, look, our government is the reflection of those who vote. It's not the reflection of the country in its entirety. It's a reflection of those who vote. And what we're saying is we want our government to be a reflection of our country, meaning all of you should go out there and vote, and also, more importantly, vote your interests. Harry, I'm coming to you. I know you're on for a while, but there are a whole lot of things we need to get out first before we go to the phones. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. I want to thank you on air, so please start doing this now. I'm going to jump to Harry before I get to Medicare. So my dear brother Harry, thank you for holding for that extended period of time, but there's a lot of stuff we wanted to get out, my brother. How are you doing this morning, sir? I hope you had a great weekend.
I'm good. I had a great weekend, Egberto, and good morning to Sandy, good morning to Howard, and good morning to Jack Van Dever, KPFT. Keep up the good work they're doing, and just people donate as much as you can. I try to do my part so we can keep this station going. But enough on that. Well, I have a couple things I wanted to get off my chest. Well, the first thing, when I talked to you on Friday, I was wondering, did you get a chance to listen to that NPR thing at 2:00 on Saturday's Reveal?
I didn't get a chance to do it. I didn't get a chance. You know, it's been a very busy weekend. But go on and tell me what you want to tell me, brother Harry.
Okay, when you get a chance to do it, listen to that, because that's blacks that are going to vote for Trump and blacks who are not going to vote for Trump. It's a really good. They have these two black men on there and this black woman on there who's going to vote for Trump, and they went over all that, and that's very informative. Now I'll go on to what Jack Van Dever has been talking about many times on this show about the Medicare Advantage and the seniors. Now, what I've been listening to here is also the down ballot races. Now, my question is, if the Democrats lose the Senate and they take the House, with this Project 2025, Trump is not going to just be able to write a bunch of executive orders to get Project 25 implemented. He's going to have Congress. Therefore, he would need, like he had in 2017 when he was president the first time, he would need a big leg up in the Senate and the House with Republicans in order to get a lot of the Project 2025 stuff passed. Because the Democrats, if they have the House or they manage to hold the Senate, they're going to vote against a lot of that stuff. And a lot of that Project 2025, like Jack Van Der was saying, to hurt the seniors, they will make their drugs more expensive or to cut out the drugs.
I get your point. Let me just answer that this way, okay?
Yeah,
that is not true. That is not going to be true anymore. And let me explain the reasons why, okay? There's this stuff called a unitary presidency. which is what Project 2025 is partially about as well. And it goes as follows.
Right.
We have Congress that is supposed, first of all, we have the Senate that doesn't work right because they have an unconstitutional thing called the filibuster. That was never in the Constitution. It's not unconstitutional, but it was never in the Constitution.
Right.
So that's unnecessary. It could
Right.
always have worked from a simple majority. However, things like immediately implementing the tariff is by executive order is legal, constitutional for the president to just create an executive order and do that. So as soon as he go into office, he can do that. Number two, the Supreme Court has made him immune to anything he does in office under the presidency. So what he can do is he can create whatever executive order he wants and have it implemented. And why is that possible? Because no longer is he under the jurisdiction of law. So therefore, the president will the Supreme Court has usurped its own power and the power of Congress, and together will give us the unitary presidency. So all of that we talk about, what we could and could not have done because we need the Congress, a lot of that now is out the door. Okay, again, that's what it means with the immunity given by the Supreme Court, because now he can execute unlawfully. Now, the only other option then is impeachment of the president. But impeachment doesn't work when you don't, because the Constitution requires 2/3 to impeach.
That's right.
And you will never get 2/3 in the Senate to impeach. So, no, folks, this is a serious election. We have allowed the building of a unitary presidency. And that is what's also known as a dictatorship, a fascist system. We are holding by a thin thread. I got to go to Bard, Harry, but thank you for bringing that up because I needed to get that explained.
My question. Basically, he can do anything.
Exactly. And by the way, at this point in time, Biden could as well. The problem is the left doesn't operate with impunity like the right. Thank you so kindly, Harry. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Let's go to Bard, then I'm going back to Medicare for the Medicare stuff. Bard, come on in.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for taking my call. Yes,
sir.
Say we don't want Kamala Harris. We don't want her because she's a black woman. That's not true. We don't want her
because what again?
She was not elected. Excuse me?
Say what? Why don't you want her?
Because she does not have any experience.
Did Trump have experience?
She was not duly elected. Yes, Trump was president for 4 years.
No, but what I'm saying, when you voted for Trump the first time, and this is where I show the difference between how men and women get treated. Did you vote for Trump in 2016?
Yes, I did.
Did Trump have any kind of governmental experience in 2016?
No, but he ran a business.
Oh, wait, stop. I'm going to show you how your statement is. I'll show you how your statement is sexist, because it's very important for women at large to see how a lot of folks think. Donald Trump was a failed businessman when you chose to vote for him. By then he had been bankrupted over 6 times, which proves he's not a successful business person. By then, when you voted for him, he had already stiffed people by creating a false college. And you still thought it was okay to vote for him. Now, Kamala Harris was a district attorney who went against drug cartels and did all this sort of stuff. She's also was served in the Senate. She had governmental experience. She had experience in policy, etc. All of that she had. You didn't think that was enough, but you went ahead and thought it was enough for a Donald Trump who was bankrupted several times by the time he ran for president, who also had no governmental experience, no policy experience, but it was okay. That was good enough to vote for. I think you've proven the point right there, my brother. And for you to say she wasn't elected, that is absolutely false. She was elected with Biden, and she was elected by the way it's chosen in both parties. You win, people elect delegates, and delegates elect the choice. No, I'm not, sir. I'm not asking these questions. I'm telling you what it is. And if you don't accept this, the call is over. That's how it is, sir. No. Again, the primary, sir, This is I'm giving you a statement of fact. The primary elect delegates who have their alliance to a particular candidate, and then those delegates finally elect the candidate. That's how it works. Now, we had an issue where President Biden rightfully decided to step down, and the delegates elected Kamala. That's what happened. Okay, that's not up for debate. Let's go to Johnny. Come on in, Johnny.
She doesn't have any experience. Like he does, work in a fry machine for 10 minutes and break it out in a sweat, that qualifies him to be in the White House. Not even the White House.
Hey, Johnny, I'm going to ask you to hold because there's a woman on. And because women have called into the show and told me that, hey, we have to go do some stuff, and you're my regular caller, I'm going to put you on hold and go to Betty, and I'm going to come back to you, Johnny. Stay right there. Come on in, Betty. All right, Betty will be on in a minute. All right, come on in, Betty.
Oh, yeah, you're talking to Trump. He's running on the same ticket, 4 things: the wall, transgender, sales tax, and race. He's still running on the same ticket. But who he has now instead of his sidekicks, they're laying low, and they're either in jail. Steve Bannon, Roger Stone, oh gosh, a couple of more, especially.
Yeah, we know a lot of jail baits. You got it right, Betty.
Yeah. There was his sidekicks, and where are they at now? And who's helping him now is that we made about 3 or 4 billionaires out of covert because they ripped us off, and they're now supporting him, and that's what he's doing for them is a sales tax, and that's who he's buddying up with. And he's bending over for Marsh.
Betty, let me tell you.
But,
Betty, I have a lot of calls, and I want to keep going, and I want to do a piece on Medicare. So let me. No. But I want to tell you this. Before you go. I want to remind you today voting begins. Okay, and I know you know that, but I have a task for you. Call up every friend that you can think of, and you tell them no matter what, they must go early vote. And really talk to them about the policies. All right, Betty?
Yeah, I did. I even canvassed the neighborhood.
You did. You're my girl. Okay, you have a good one, my dear friend.
Yeah, I wasn't asking for money. I wasn't asking for money from them. I was just asking the truth.
Thank you, Betty. That's all we got to do, Betty. Tell the truth. Nothing more. Yeah. The truth is what we stand for. Thank you, Betty. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Look, folks, I want to thank Brian. Brian, thank you so kindly for that contribution. Folks, we still need a lot more contributions. We need to raise $500. Give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate. Please consider $5 a month. $10 a month, those are sustainers, or just give whatever you can. And again, we have a $10 stuff for our the Politics Done Right t-shirt. I'm going to go to Johnny, and after Johnny, I'm going to go back to Sandy, and then we'll come back. I'm going to try to get that Medicare thing in. Let's go to Johnny. Brother Johnny, thanks for holding, Johnny. Appreciate that.
So he's tried to sell bottled water, coins, steaks, sneakers, Bibles, in addition to state secrets, and now he's trying his hand at actual work at the tender age of 78. Donald, you don't fool anybody. You just think you know what you think. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get some fast food experience that you can point to, so that the prison warden can decide whether or not to put you to work outside in the field or inside a laundry or a kitchen. Well, guess what? Newsflash, buddy. Yeah.
Johnny, what he did was effective. I tell you what. You see, all he needed that photo op to take to Appalachia, because he has to go around a lot of the narrative of him being the rich guy, etc. Now it looks like he's the rich guy who can come down to our level and rub shoulders with us. Oh, I like the guy. This is perfect staging, right? And it works for him because he has some other attributes that filters that. But again, that is the reason why I say we have to, first of all, we got to educate, we got to enlighten, and we got to make sure people really know. John, a real quick finish for me so I can go to Sandy.
I will finish with pushback. It's not a perfect opportunity pick for him. You know why? Because wearing that stupid apron around his suit jacket and tie points out to the fact that he has to wear that suit jacket and tie everywhere he goes. That's ridiculous. He's
all right, buddy.
He has to wear that all the time. He couldn't take it. You know why he couldn't take off that jacket and tie? Because he looked like a old man who can't work at the Walmart, and now he's going to fill out a fry cook station. He's ridiculous, and what goes around comes around, Donald.
Thank you, Johnny. Look, Johnny, this election is going to be won big by the good guys, no matter where you think we are right now, because of people like you and Betty and Jacob and Patrick. This is going to happen real well. Come on in, Patrick.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, before you talk, Patrick, you realize you were the star this morning. I don't know if you heard the show earlier. You just getting in or not?
I didn't get in until about 15 after, but I usually listen to it again.
Okay, because I cut up some stuff that you did on the 3 o'clock show, and I placed it into a segment earlier today. So listen, go back to the archives and listen to it.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. I just wanted to point out that every time somebody wants to bring up that Trump was a successful businessman, one of the top producers or somebody recently quit their obligation with whatever channel or network was carrying The Apprentice, and he about how they spoke about how they had to create this character that was successful, and that it was all just smoke and mirrors. They knew that he wasn't a success, but they could capitalize on his popularity, and they can market it as success. And so when somebody wants to bring up that he was a good businessman and that's why they're voting for him, it's just another area that they were duped and they can't even figure it out.
Hey, thank you, Patrick. Let me tell you, Patrick, I have a blog post that I did on my, I don't know if I turned it into a blog, but it's a video that I already did. It was titled NBC's The Apprentice, Former Marketing Executive. We created a monster. Trump's business success is fake. I wrote an article about that already. Check it out.
Yeah, I saw it over the weekend. I enjoyed it.
Okay, great. Anyway, thank you, my brother. Jump to Jacob and then Brian. Come on in, Jacob.
Yeah, man. Hey, welcome to America. But I know you don't like, people love the Bible until it say something that they don't like. They believe in the Creator until it say something they disagree with. But hey,
Kamala, hold on. Wait, Jacob, I want to stop you right there. I don't know about many, but I have a whole lot of people that I hang around that we don't have to agree for me to like them. The next caller is Brian. Okay? Brian loves to call here and there.
I didn't even mention people.
No, I know what you said. But what you said was people have a tendency once they disagree with somebody that they don't like them. Brian is up next. Brian.
No. But, I said the Bible.
Well, forgive me. I misunderstood. Okay. I misunderstood. Go ahead. Continue.
And Brian, you know what I mean? He contributing, you know what I'm saying? And you let him say what he say. So it is what it is with that. But yeah, when it comes to Kamala, man, and Trump, you know what, Trump, it's amazing to me that the constituent that they all are quoting right now are the so-called black men. Trump going to barbershops across meet with them in Philly, Atlanta. He going to the hoods. He going to Brooklyn.
Jacob, behave yourself.
Hey, you know what I mean? But it's the truth. He going to Philly. And,
yeah, I know.
But amazing, the brothers mess with him, man, because he pardoned Kodak Black and Wayne. Ain't no way that Kamala or Biden, the Democratic Party, would even consider them. So I don't know, man. It's something they have, and Kamala got a shot. To me, it's the lesser of two evils. So hey,
okay, I can deal with that.
I'm watching.
All right, Jacob.
All right,
Jacob. Let me tell you, you go out there and vote your interest, vote your Social Security, vote your Medicare, vote your all that good stuff that we know is necessary. All right, my brother Brian. Brian, is that you who was the first contributor?
Yes, sir, it is.
Well, look, thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't know if that was you or a different one, because you remember you weren't supposed to give me this time. Under my show, but I thank you anyway. You see that you put your money where your mouth is. Okay, let me have it. What's up? What do we need to argue about today?
Okay, wealth accruement and redistribution. Who wrote that book?
Say that again.
Kamala Harris. Accumulation and wealth distribution. Who wrote that book? I
have no idea. I don't know. Her dad, maybe?
Kamala Harris's father. Yes.
Yeah.
Him.
I love that.
Yeah. Then that makes you a Marxist.
No, it doesn't. Brian, listen to me and tell me if you don't think I'm right here. Okay. Because I know you're a thinking man, even as we disagree. Do you go to work every day, or are you retired? Which one?
I'm on my way to work right now.
Okay. What do you do for a living, if you don't mind me asking?
We resurface concrete.
You resurface concrete. All right. We don't. Yeah. I don't think I've given you last.
I was an international service technician. Before that, I was an international service technician.
All right. Great. But let's talk about you resurfacing right now. Okay. So you work for a company who does that job, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably a small company, so this is not going to be fair for the small if it's a small company. But let's say this is one of the large conglomerates, right? What the large conglomerates would do is they would hire a subcontractor who pays you as little as possible, right? And they will bill the government as they're building those roads for a lot of money. And then a few rich guys who don't do any of the work, who just manage what you're doing, they would make all that money. And at the same time, they make it in a form where they don't pay taxes on it. They get it. They make some of them, a part of their monies would come through what's called capital appreciation, whether it be the stock or otherwise. Are you with me so far?
Okay, that is your world.
No, sir. All I'm asking you, do you understand what I just said? Yes or no?
Okay, I don't, because that's your world.
Okay, well, let me explain to you. What I'm saying is the following.
That is the world.
Wait, hold on a second. Brother Brian, listen to what I'm saying. You do very hard work. You resurface roads, okay? And it's paid for likely by our tax dollars, all of our tax dollars. It's paid to a private company who then hires you. And depending on that private company, whatever, they may make a ton of money and pay you a very small percentage of that money, and they put the rest in the bank, in stocks or otherwise. If they happen to overcharge the taxpayer, and I don't know what that overcharging price would be, but let's go under that tenet. And shouldn't we try to tax that back into the system for what was overcharged? Yes or no?
No. Your hatred.
Okay, go. Okay, you answered the question. You don't think it's so. So you are satisfied. Hold on.
Yes, I am.
You are satisfied to get a pittance of the money that all of us, we the people, paid to that private company, who then took it to the bank for doing absolutely nothing, while you got a pittance to do the hard work. You don't have a problem with that, right?
No, I do not.
Okay, good. All right, fine. But okay, wait. There are people, let me tell you, myself included, that don't believe in slavery, that don't believe in indentured servitude. Okay? And what you're saying is you're willing to be an indentured servant to the corporation, and that's fine. You have the right to do that, Brian. But I'm just saying, understand what we're talking about here. So when Kamala's dad write a book that talks about redistribution, I am absolutely into redistribution for unearned income. Absolutely in for that. So, what's that? No, I'm not. How is that? No.
Yes,
the person. How is that again?
You are a slave owner.
Tell me, how is that?
That way, you are a slave owner.
Tell me, explain.
You are telling people what they can make and what they cannot make, and what they can do and cannot do.
No, actually, I'm telling you.
What I just said.
Yes, Brian, I do. And what I'm telling you, Brian, what I'm telling you is I would like you to be able to get back some of the money that was not given to you, that was paid for to build that road. That's all. And, that, believe it or not, that is a problem that I
pay. The 6% that I pay, my employee matches that also for Social Security.
And you know what? And they're still making a killing. But anyway, we'll talk another time, Brian. Thank you for calling. I need to get to Medicare, but thank you. And I have to do a station ID. Brian, keep calling and keep listening, because I have a feeling we're going to get somewhere at some time. I want to say to Billy Allison Irwin in the chat, Eric Hayes in the chat, Polsey Wolsey in the chat, Lab Goats in the chat, Melanie Keelan from Barcelona, Spain in the chat. I think Billy Early is from Summerwood in the chat. Thank you so kindly for being there and making this a discussion. Folks, before I get to Medicare, we only have one donation, folks. One donation. Brian is the only one and that's a Brian who just called. And you see, he calls and fights with me, but he still supports us. Will you call 713-526-5738, extension number 1, and give whatever you can? But I would love $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever you can. $100 for the T-shirt. I tell you what, before I do Medicare, I'm going to go back to Sandy. But before Sandy, I want to ask you guys, if you've never called in before, please do that as well and contribute to the program. This is important stuff that we discuss here. Sandy, are you there?
I am there. It's amazing it worked this time. Hey, folks, one donation, just like Egberto said, leaving us about, well short of our goal. Put it like that. 3 more people at a $10 a month level get us there. Now, this is serious stuff. These fall fund drives, this is the start of our fiscal year. By the way, it's the top of the hour, so I will say you're listening to 90.1 KPFT Houston. This is how we pay the bills. We don't have much in the way of underwriting. We don't have that much in the way of grant money. The 95% or more of our operating funds come from listeners. So every hour that goes by during these fund drives when people do not call, it's another, missed opportunity for all of us to keep KPFT going strong in Houston. It's no lie when I tell you that one bad fund drive puts us in a really bad place right now. It's not like we have lots and lots of reserves in the bank, or we have a sugar daddy feeding us millions of dollars. It doesn't work like that. The money comes from lots of folks. Already this drive, 248 donations have been made. By the time the drive is over, we'll get close to 1,000 donations or more. But the only way to get to 249 is for someone out there to recognize that this show has a goal, every show has a goal, and when the show makes its goal, great, we pass the baton to the next one. So on and so forth, round the dial, round the clock, until the fund drive's completed and KPFT can continue all the way till February. We're not coming back till February to do this again. So if you'd be so kind as to take that step to power KPFT into the future and pass it along, where else are you going to be able to have these conversations? Where else are you going to be able to hear the variety of music, the news, the views, anywhere in free media in Houston? I would challenge you to give me an answer that would make sense. It's KPFT, and there's one of them. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Let's keep our experiment going strong here in Houston. Come on now. We're going to go a few more minutes, then we're going to join Democracy Now! About a quarter after. But in the meantime, we still have time to get to our goal here. Egberto?
Thank you so kindly, Sandy. Folks, I really want to get to Medicare and Project 2025. I'm going to go to TAG, and then I'm going to try to tackle that. And I'm asking you at this point to please give us a call now at 713-526-5738. Only one contribution so far from Brother Brian, who just called in. We really need a whole lot more. We need about $400 more, folks. Give us a call. 400 and change. 713-526-5738. Let's go to Tag. Come on in, Tag.
Good morning, Egberto. How you doing?
Good morning, my brother. Talk to me.
I just wanted to do a little shout out to Brian. I'm glad he calls you because I think he's really in search of answers, and a lot of people are. And so I've been in search of answers for a long time too. And I've been doing some reading about Marx And so I don't think you can really call me a Marxist, but what I'm doing is I'm learning. And one thing I've learned about Marx is that he did a lot of things. People attribute him for communism, but the fact is, and I'm sure you well know this, I don't think it gets discussed enough, all the other things that Marx wrote about, including evolution, and he wrote about the Greek societies, Plato's and Socrates, and Marx wrote about so much stuff. And I think when you talk about Harris's father, he was probably trying to convey some of the things that Marx taught him. And so when you talk about Karl Marx, you're not just talking about communism. That's just like a 2% or 1% of what he actually wrote about and talked about. And people really need to set the communism thing aside and actually take a look at what he was a great teacher. And I think that people should learn from Karl Marx instead of trying to malign him.
Well, the good thing is that you're absolutely right. But, the good thing about KPFT is we already play some important information from Richard Wolff, who is a defined, and Richard Wolff would come out and he will explain things in detail of how the economies work. And, the thing about it is when people call you a Marxist or a communist or a socialist, they are doing it as if to demean you. And the thing about it is the economic systems that I stand for, that you stand for, it's not about getting rid of people making a profit or getting rid of people creating businesses. It's about having things in an equitable fashion. What I try to get across to Brian earlier wasn't that I honor Brian. I respect Brian. Brian is out there working hard. But at the same time that Brian is working hard, he's also supporting policies that makes him work hard for less. I want Brian to work hard for what he's worth. And right now, that's not what we have in America. We don't have people making what they're worth. We have a small amount of people that make a piece of the action of everybody else and then don't want to pay taxes on it, don't want to build on it. And that's the whole issue, Tag. Tag, I got to go to Medicare. Anything else you want to say real quick?
Just the fact that Marx really was interested in what it takes for an individual to support a family or an individual to support a business like Brian does. Brian supports his business. It's a going concern. And Marx really talked a lot about that. It's not a matter of means of production. So Brian need to look and read some about Marx, I think. So thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, brother Tag. Brian, you work hard. A lot of people working hard. A lot of union workers working hard, and then they're going to vote for Trump. Somebody that wants to take away the option for overtime. If people stop thinking that we don't like each other and start realizing that what we don't like is what politicians do to us, you'll understand where I'm coming from. You understand where a lot of us are coming from. Folks, we only have one contribution. Look, I know that you like the program. I know that you get a lot from the program. And I know that many of you have already given. But for those who haven't, or those who haven't in a while, we do need your support. So I ask you kindly, as kind as I can, please go ahead and give us a call now at 713-526-5738, extension number 1. And give whatever you can. Go to kpft.org. I want to call your name out now. I really would like to call your name out now. So please, we have a good contribution from James and Yvonne. Thank you so kindly for your call. James and Yvonne, thank you so kindly for your call. Anyway, folks, please go ahead and give us a call. 713-526-5738. We still need a lot more contributors, my dear friends. 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org, hit that donate button. All right, I'm going to do a 4-minute stint on Project 2025, okay? Project 2025 and the full privatization of Medicare, a death sentence for millions is the article that I want to read to you. You can find it at Common Dreams, or you can find it in politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Once I'm going to do it real fast. Once you've been told you have cancer, waiting is the last thing you want to do. As a practicing gynecologic oncologist, I know patients with called Medicare Advantage plans will be waiting to find a specialist like me within their network, waiting to get pre-authorization for the tests they need so we can discuss their diagnosis and possible treatments, and ultimately waiting to get approval for their surgery and treatments. Unfortunately, Project 2025 would make this already difficult process even worse. By fully privatizing Medicare, this Heritage Foundation plan supported by Donald Trump would shift even more power into the hands of corporate insurers who prioritize profits over patient care. The result would be even narrower providing networks, more restrictive approvals for tests and treatments, and a system designed to delay or deny care to those who need it most. For patients, that means critical time loss, time that means more pain, more symptoms, and decreased chances of being cured. Under Project 2025, the burden of navigating these hurdles would fall not just on patients, but on physicians and healthcare workers who are already stretched thin. Physicians for a national health program estimates that doctors and their teams would spend up to 43 million hours annually dealing with prior authorizations alone. That is where you have to get permission for them to do everything they want to do. This clinical, meaningless administrative burden steals time that should be spent caring for patients, waste time, waste resources that we can't afford to lose, and is a source of burnout and moral distress. I feel helpless to overcome the negative impact that delays in care have on patients' chances of being cured. But delayed care is often the best case scenario for seniors in Advantage plans, because there is a high potential that the best cancer center in their area is outside of their narrow network, and that treatments will be denied. Research shows seniors with corporate Advantage plans have lower access to the high volume hospitals that most successful care for uncommon cancers. For example, people with stomach, pancreatic, and liver cancers require surgery were shown to have a higher likelihood of dying when compared to seniors with the real Medicare. Despite the overwhelming evidence showing that privatized Medicare does not serve our seniors' best interests and wastes money, Project 2025 wants to take over all of Medicare by automatically enrolling seniors in corporate insurance plans without any full care. That's why I tell you guys, whenever, I don't care if you're with a navigator or anybody that say, oh, I'm giving you Medicare, get them on tape telling you you're getting the real thing and not the Medicare Advantage fraud. This will be catastrophic for people on Medicare who will face increasing financial burdens as decreased access to care. An estimated 24 million seniors in corporate Advantage plans would face limited provider networks that exclude up to 70% of the doctors in their regions. And more than 15 million people would be considered underinsured due to the reduced benefits available under privatized plans. Corporate insurance plans are designed to make profits, not take care of patients. And so they use shady techniques such as upcoding, which boosts payments rates by making patients seem sicker than they are. In 2024, so-called Advantage plans overcharge the American people by as much as $140 billion. That could have been the 20% to pay for the real Medicare, and provided less care with worse health outcomes. If this system of skimming funds were extended to all seniors, the Medicare Trust Fund would immediately begin deficit spending, leading to insolvency within 5 years. It would cost $1.5 trillion more. Congress must take a stand, Project American seniors and the Medicare Trust Fund by rejecting Project 25 dangerous push to privatize Medicare. And folks, it is in your hands. If you go ahead and vote for the right this year, you're talking about Project 2025. We're talking about your Social Security. We're talking about your Medicare. We're talking about your life. It is in your hands. And I try to explain this to people all the time. So let's not let our prejudices cause us to vote against our own interests, to cause us to put our lives in danger, to cause us to support and lose worldwide support. Folks, we need to do the right thing. And by the way, the right thing as well now is to call 713-526-5738. Folks, we are in dire straits. We have not come close to our quota at all for today. We are in dire straits. Support this stuff that you know is worth your support. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. I only got 2 minutes and we got to go to Democracy Now! So let me throw it to Sandy before we throw it to the studio and then back to me for a closer.
Yeah, I'll be brief. Thank you, James and Vaughn. Thank you for making a pledge. We are now about $250 shy of the goal this morning, $200 shy of the goal this morning. 713-526-5738, option 1 or kpft.org. Come on, let's do this together. Egberto?
Yeah, thank you, studio. Okay.
All right. I'm here. Yeah, I noticed a sign this morning when I drove in. It said, vote in all Republican judges. Pretty scary.
Well, I tell you what, I have a piece that I did from Judge Natalia Cornelio. The lies that they're telling on the ads that talking about these judges letting people out, it's a fallacy. I did an interview with Judge Natalia Cornelio of the 351st Circuit. I'll bring that to us maybe in the next few days, but people need to use their heads when they're voting. Look, folks, please give us a call at 713-526-5738. Even as I get off the air, you can go to kpft.org, select the donate button, put Politics Done Right as a program you're supporting. We need your support. We don't have near the quota that we needed to make for today. We are in the hole with Politics Done Right. I ask you so kindly, 713-526-5738, extension number 1 or kpft.org. The donate button. Anyway, folks, you can get the rest of the program at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. My name, I love you all of you callers, listeners, donors, non-donors, everybody. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Support for this show, Politics Done Right, comes from politicsdoneright.com, publishers of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It. As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto Willies. Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right.